Welcome back to Day Ones. It's Tenitra and Jarvis, and we are here as a part of your Locked On Sports Network in Atlanta. So check us out on YouTube. Go ahead and keep subscribing. Keep telling your friends to subscribe, like us, and follow us. And of course, wherever you check us out on your various podcast platforms, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating if you like the content. And again, tell a friend. Thank you guys for rocking with us. And speak, but you want to talk about a ship that is wavering, going back and forth, shaky, shaky. Woo, that SEC ship is woo, it's going down in the SEC
Yes,
right
Lord. It's getting
now.
hot. It's
Oh
getting real
my.
hot.
And listen, you all already know that right here at Day Ones, ATL Day Ones, there's one word that we like, and it's petty. We do. I mean, we do. And so Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher, they have entered the petty chat. And soon enough, Deion Sanders is going to enter the petty chat. So I suspect Jarvis and I are going to revisit this tomorrow. But as of today, want to get you guys up to speed in case you have been under a rock. Nick Saban was talking out of the side of his neck, and you HBCUs, you know exactly where that came from. But he was talking out of the side of his neck Wednesday, firing back, allegedly firing, or shots fired. Shots fired. Basically saying that A&M, Texas A&M that is, quote, bought every player on their team. And there's so much to dig into in that regard. But of course, you all know where it started. It was a discussion at a banquet in Alabama Wednesday on name, image, and likeness. And then that discussion spiraled into the shots that were fired. Well, Jimbo Fisher, that's old school country too. So he's not about to sit back and let you take the BB gun and shoot it at him. He got something for you too. So Jim Fisher called a press conference this morning, shot back Jarvis and said, quote, "It's despicable that we have to sit here at this level of ball and say these things to defend the people of this organization. It's amazing. Some people think they're God. Go dig into how God did his deal. You may find out about a lot of things you don't want to know." And then he follows up and says, "We build him up to be the czar of football. We know the him. Go dig into his pastor. Anybody that's ever coached with him, Jimbo has. Jimbo was the first assistant to actually beat Nick Saban. You can find out anything you want to find out. What he does and how he does it is despicable. It really is." And Deion Sanders has tweeted about every 5 hours since Nick Saban's comments came out, because he threw Jackson State under the bus too now. You know,
Yes.
he had enough vitriol to go all the way around. And so Deion Sanders every 5 hours has posted a tweet saying, "Oh, I got something for you." So Jarvis and I are here for it. But first, Jarvis, let's
Oh,
react.
God.
And I want to, even before you react to and give your thoughts on what Jimbo said, let's go back to what Nick Saban said.
Oh, my God. Like, where do I start?
Where
Like,
do you right?
you know what I mean? Like, okay, so Nick Saban is running off at his little lumberyard, right? Let's. I even got into a discussion. We're gonna call it a discussion on Twitter
Okay.
about with an Alabama fan about
Mm,
why is he complaining? That's my biggest question. Well, I was
agreed.
like, why are you complaining? And it starts with some of the person. I think he does kind of have a bit of a God complex because he's been on top for so long. He's had number one recruit classes for so long, and he's starting to lose in that manner. And he lost to Texas A&M, and he even brought that up, like we were behind Texas A&M and blah 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 blah. And they paid every player, and I'm just like, but why are you complaining? You still
Right.
have more national championships that you can't even put on one hand,
Right.
and you're probably going to go down as one of the better college football coaches ever to
If not
do it.
greater. Yeah.
And you're going to have a statue down there in Tuscaloosa for you. So why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? You know why I think he's
Because
complaining? He don't want everybody to do it like he did it.
yep, there it
He
is.
don't want
Yep.
nobody to have a nugget. He don't want anybody to have a crumb. This man brought up an HBCU. When have we heard Nick Saban talk about an HBCU?
Right.
Besides the Affleck commercial when he doggone looked at Deion Sanders.
Right.
That's the only time he ever gave a damn about an HBCU.
Yes.
So now he's up here talking about, oh, it's $1 million, blah, 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 blah. Like, come on, man. What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Why are you complaining, Nick? I don't understand. You got like 30 national championships. And you sitting up here complaining about what's being done in Jackson,
Yes.
Mississippi.
Yes.
Like, why do you care about what's going on in Jackson, Mississippi? Why
Hmm.
do you care about what your former assistant is doing and calling
Right.
him to task? And let's
Yeah.
talk about that.
Well, and
Okay, Jimbo knows where all the bodies are buried, bro. You know he used to coach with you, right? So he probably was in a level where he may have touched a duffel bag that was left in the hotel room back in the
mhm.
day. So what? I just don't get it, T. I
Yeah.
just don't understand why you complaining, bro. I don't get it. Shut
Yeah.
your mouth.
And
Shut up and coach.
right, and you know who's laughing? Who is sitting back, kicked up down the street in Athens, laughing at all y'all? Kirby Smart,
Right,
because
Kirby?
he's
He
sitting
heard
back.
a word. He haven't heard a
Meanwhile,
word.
exactly. Meanwhile, there's an article that comes out, I believe it was in the AJC on Wednesday, about the fact that we've already enhanced our facilities, which if you've ever been, they were already mind
Oh,
blowing.
it's
So I'm not even
ridiculous
sure
down
how
there.
you
Yeah,
enhance
it's
that.
crazy down there.
But
Yeah.
they literally just made more enhancements this week and announced that they're making even more enhancements. So Kirby Smart is like, you know what? I'm going to let all you all fight because I'm going to have some things going on here. As I mentioned before, there are some Georgia players who've taken some other Georgia players under their wing to help them to better understand how to navigate this whole name, image, and likeness situation as the NCAA tries to figure it out. But what I like about what Kirby's doing is, you know what, stay above the fray right now because your class is still winning. You're still projected right up there with Alabama and Clemson, who's fallen off a little bit. But that's been another one, Dabo Sweeney, who's been whining and complaining. Because
Lord.
you know what, Jarvis, when folks are on top and others start coming for them, and that margin is closing and that gap is closing, you start to feel that heat. And I
Get a
really
tight booty syndrome.
yeah,
TBS.
I really believe exactly. I really believe a lot of that is the piece of it, but you better be careful because, like you said, especially in the culture that we live in, Twitter has gone ablaze, and players
Oh my
don't have
God.
any problem saying, "Man, what are you talking about? You know that I got XYZ amount of money to come play for you." Ooh, once they don't have
And I
to
got an example right here. Hey, I
right,
have one. I have
right,
one. You know,
and
this
more.
is
Yeah,
this is
more are
from
gonna come out. I don't
right.
doubt. Yeah, it's gonna be
Exactly.
some folks who don't have any, overblown allegiance, if you will, to an Alabama or a Texas A&M or anybody else who throws their hat in the ring of this pettiness to say, oh, well, I mean, don't act like your hands are that clean, right? So
Right.
be really careful how much you want to go down this particular road because I think this is going to get way uglier. I believe we are just scratching the surface about how ugly this thing is really going to get.
And you know what? And this is from a tweet from at TrapJ99. That's Travis Johnson. Played in
Mhm.
NFL. He's a good friend of our homie Randy McMichael,
Mhm.
who played in the league for 10 years as well. He said, "Y'all been playing for players since the '80s. Offered me six figures in '99, 2000, and gave Albert Means and his coaches six figures during the
Mhm.
time. And now y'all swear y'all not paying anyone." He said,
Yeah.
like the kids say, cap. He said, y'all was NIL before NIL. I think that
Yes.
sums it right up, T. I
Yeah.
don't think, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the big thing. Like, I go back to the question what I asked. Why is
Mhm.
Nick Saban complaining?
Yes.
Because you benefited from NIL before
Right.
NIL was even
Right.
in existence.
As
Like,
opposed to maybe what you should do is follow the lead, as I've spoken about before, of a Mike Krzyzewski and understand the assignment when the atmosphere and the climate is changing. Understand how to flex with it because low key, I don't
or
know
just
that
be
Kirby.
quiet. Just
Yeah,
be quiet,
right,
T.
and I don't know, right, and I don't know the right. And that's the point I was about to make because we don't know completely where Kirby Smart stands on all of this with
Right.
NIL and the like because he has kept silent for the most part. That's the right thing to do, especially at this time, Jarvis, where we're still trying to navigate the waters, trying to determine if there's a legal piece that if the government, which I don't believe they should, but if the government needs to get involved, how does the NCAA get involved? Or do the Power Five just handle this themselves? If that's the conversation you want to have and weigh in on who should govern it, that's one thing. But you providing commentary, bringing Jimbo Fisher's name, or like Deion Sanders saying, now you don't want to put any respect on Jackson State's name. Okay, good luck with that. But we will talk about it more tomorrow because I have a sneaking suspicion that these will not be the only shots fired at all. But you know what? There are shots that some people want to fire away when they go to certain stadiums and certain events just so that they can get a little libation. what is up with these high prices? It's enough going to that gas pump with those prices. Now this, we'll talk about it in For the Culture. Join us on